What's good, y'all? What's good? Let's start this off right. Let's start this off right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all already know what time it is. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. A quick shout out to my co-host Santana and my guest co-host, my brother Jokey from Jokey Entertainment. Shout out to them brothers. You know I'm landing this plane, and you know how we do. We're gonna have a whole bunch of fun. Y'all already in the chat, so we're gonna get to it, man. Let's have some fun. Let me just get my things in order, my notes and everything. There's a lot that happened today, y'all. So let's have some fun. Shout out real quick in the chat already. A couple of our day ones already in the building. Shout out to Winter Breeze in the building. Shout out to Lisa in the building. Shout out to Krista in the building. Shout out to Ebony in the building. Shout out to y'all already in the building. Appreciate y'all always tapping in and staying in tune. Y'all already know we have a whole lot of fun. We talk about everything on this podcast, whether it's sports, everyday news, social media, anything that's relevant to talk about. We have the heavy conversations as well, men versus women, men and women together, because that's the whole purpose of the conversation is men and women together, being together. So we switch it up. We switch it up, but we do have a format on the show, and we're gonna run down the format, and we're gonna have a whole lot of fun, y'all. For tonight's episode, Sunday episode, this is episode 122. I'm so happy to make it to 122. Like, this is big time for me. So, at the end of the day, I really appreciate y'all energy, y'all support, and y'all continuously to just shout the show out, throwing it love on social media, on your TikToks, on your Instagram. I've been seeing the clips, and I appreciate the love, and I appreciate the awareness of getting the show out even more. So thank y'all, really thank you. Again, we on the road to 10,000 subs. So again, continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell. You just never know when we're gonna pop up. This channel has in-house several different content, so you just never know what's gonna pop up. So for this show alone, though, we have over 260 rewatches, 260 rewatch videos where you could go back, just tap into, and like I said, we talk about everything. So thank y'all. We on the road to 10,000 subscribers. We about a little over 9,000, if I'm not mistaken. So thank y'all for the support. Also, I want to thank y'all again. My single, well, not my single, one of the songs on the Ready to Live album called Juicy just went over the 100,000 mark for plays and listens. So again, thank y'all for supporting me and my music as well. Uh, those who know, I'm a rap artist, and I have a big perspective on things, so that's why I'm here as well. But I want to thank y'all for again supporting my music, and that song is going crazy on the Ready to Live album. This is just on Spotify alone. It went over just over 100,000 listens or plays, whatever they call it, on Spotify. And my other song is at it's 800. It's 800 short of 100,000, which is called Trophy Room. So again, continue to support the music as well. And again, both of those songs on that Ready to Live album. One song is called Juicy that just went over 100,000. The other song again is called Trophy Room. So again, thank y'all. All right, without further ado, let's get started with tonight's show. First topic of the night, popular opinions. You already know these are not my questions. These are the word questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, and we're gonna have a whole lot of fun. This segment is brought to you by OUV Records. Y'all see it right up there. Yeah. You could go at OUV Records right now on Instagram. Stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. So again, thank y'all for support. And the label motto is create, document, and inspire. So, all right, y'all. First, popular opinion questions of the night. Best TV girlfriend. Best TV girlfriend. Number one, Myra from Family Matters. Myra was with Steve. Number two, Lisa from Fresh Prince. Lisa was with Will Smith. Number three, Fancy from the Jamie Foxx show. Again, Jamie Foxx. She was with Jamie Foxx on the Jamie Foxx show. On the characters, I should say. And number four, Gina on the show Martin. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Again, it was Myra from Family Matters, Lisa from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Fancy from Jamie Foxx, and Gina from Martin. Gina from Martin. So let me know what y'all think in the chat, man. I already know what my answer is going to be. For me personally, man, I gotta go with Gina. Like, Gina was the best girlfriend out of everybody on this list. Like, I say it all the time. Like, as much people used to try to give her flack because Pam had the big booty and all that, like, Gina was fine. Well, the character, Tisha Campbell, was fine. But I'm just saying, the character, she was fine. She knew how to dress. But, like, all in all, she used to hold it down. Like you hear like these standards of today's women. Some of y'all got like these crazy standards where a guy has to have all of it, right? Martin didn't necessarily have none of what the today's standard was, right? But she still messed with him, and she didn't care about how any other woman felt about Martin but her. If you stepped out of line, she was gonna come check you. She was gonna come see you about her dude, though. Don't get it twisted. Like, when she went after Miss Friday for getting at Martin, mind you, Miss Friday was fine. Like, she can get it. But Gina wasn't having none of that. Like, and because of that, she ended up, elevating. So at the end of the day, they going with they saying Myra. Shout out to Ebony. They going with Myra in the chat. Myra, they saying Myra. I like Myra when it comes to. I'm like Myra when it comes to my man. But yeah, like Gina herself was just always holding it down. Whether when Martin was up, when he was down, she just always was that calm. You know what I mean? When Martin said, tell her Tommy, he said, you found a calm. You know what I'm saying? Somebody to find you that got you, that got your back. You know what I mean? So I gotta go with Gina personally. I was waiting for a few more answers in the chat, but again, I went with Gina. The chat went with Myra at 31%. The rest of the world went with Myra on Family Matters. That's interesting, Myra on Family Matters. All these was really good girlfriends, to be honest with you, on shows. Lisa was solid. Fancy was solid. But between Myra and Gina, I could get why people went with Myra. Myra was head and shoulders crazy about Steve Urkel. Like, if your woman don't make you feel how Myra was showing how she felt about Steve Urkel, then cut her off, dog. If your woman don't look at you like, dude, you the sexiest thing alive, or pause. If you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she should never say, yo, if I meet this dude, then you gotta give me a hall pass, Nah, you supposed to be her celebrity crush. You supposed to be her everything, dog. So if she don't show you that type of love and devotion like Myra, then yo, get rid of her, man. That's one thing about the character Myra. She was popping. Rest in peace to the lady that played her role. I think her name was Michelle Williams, if I'm not mistaken. I think her name was Michelle Williams. But shout out to her though. She was a dope actress, and she played that role very nicely. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next question. Again, y'all, this is popular opinion questions. These are not my questions. These are the world questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right, let's start this off. Football movies that are close to the real life players. Football movies that's close to the real life players. Oh, shout out to Peter in the building. Peter Pan in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you, man. That's Sunday edition. You know what I'm saying? We doing it right. We doing it right, man. I appreciate you. All right. Again, question for popular opinions. Football movies close to the real live players. Football movies close to the real live players. Shout out to Bill in the building, Bill B. Appreciate you tapping in. I remember y'all type your answers in the chat. Number one, Paul Crew, Baker Mayfield. Number two, Willie Beeman, Lamar Jackson. Number three, Eddie Martell, Aaron Rodgers. Number four, Cap Rooney, Brett Favre. All right, so remember, the question is, which football movie is close to the real life player? So number one was Paul Crew, Baker Mayfield. People know Paul Crew from The Longest Yard. Number two, Willie Beeman, Any Given Sunday, Lamar Jackson, right? Eddie Martell, the quarterback from The Replacements, Aaron Rodgers. Number four, Cat Rooney, Any Given Sunday, Brett Favre. So let me know what y'all think in the chat. Which one of these characters is close to the real life NFL player as far as like their persona, personality? So let me know what y'all think in the chat. I love all those movies. All right. Shout out to King Prince in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man. He said two. And that's one of our badge holders. That's one of our badge holders. Again, tap into the membership portion of our page. Different memberships, different access. He's been one of our badge holders from day one, man. So I'm seeing Willie Beeman. So he's saying Willie Beeman, Any Given Sunday, Lamar Jackson. So his character is close to Willie Beeman. That's dope. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one. So me personally, out of everybody on this list, I'm gonna have to go with Paul Crew. The Longest Yard reminds me of Baker Mayfield. Like the way they move, the way the way they play football, the way they go about it, it just feels a lot like Baker Mayfield. Money sign, bad boy goes to jail, and all this, that, and the third. The persona is like a bad boy, I should say. But their style is to me is kind of like identical. So I'm gonna say Paul Crew, Longest Yard, Baker Mayfield. In the chat, y'all been going with Willie Beeman, Any Given Sunday, up to Lamar Jackson. The rest of the world at 44% went with Eddie Martell from the Replacements movies, Aaron Rodgers. 44%. I can see that. I can definitely see that, because you gotta remember the main quarterback in that movie was him, and he was replaced by Keanu Reeves' quarterback Shane Falco, Footsteps Falco. You know what I mean? But his energy and persona, I can see that he was the best quarterback in the league. This, that, and the third. Like I can see that. I'm not mad at that answer as well. So that's kind of fire. That's kind of fire. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm not mad at that at all. That's dope. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Hollywood Need to Ask Us. Came up with this segment because Hollywood is giving us a whole lot of movies we didn't ask for, y'all. I didn't ask for it, and the movies is terrible. We got better ideas. So this is how Hollywood Need to Ask Us. Better ideas for movies or TV shows. All right, so Hollywood Need to Ask Us for this Sunday night episode. I want to see a movie. I want to see a theatrical movie, 2.5, 3 hours long, on the making of In Living Color, the TV show that had all those great skits and acts and everything like that on that show, spearheaded by Keenan Ivory Wayans. You had Damon Wayans on that show. You had dang, it's so many people. Kim Wayne's on that show. Jim Carrey. Who else? I'm missing a lot of people right now. Jim Carrey, Tommy Davidson. Uh, they have a few more people that their name is not big, but they was funny on the show. And I gotta, but I want to see a movie on the making of the show. So yeah, so you got Keenan Ivory Wayans, who's the mastermind. You got Jim Carrey, Damon Wayans, David Allen Greer, Tommy Davis, and these are legends. Kim Wayans is probably my favorite Wayans next to Damon Wayans. Kim Wayans, she goes in on scenes. Like when you talk about going all for the funny, Kim Wayans always deliver. Kelly Cofield Park was hilarious on that show. Marlon Wayans on the show when he came on the show. Uh, Jamie Foxx when he came on the show was hilarious. Kim Coles, how am I forgetting Kim Coles? Kim Coles was hilarious on that show. This show was so funny at the time it came out. And Takaya Crystal Kamir, I hope I said her name right, but she was also funny. People always mention J Lo. J Lo, I don't even remember J Lo on the show. She was a dancer, and the dancers contribute to the hip hop portion of the show. They wasn't necessarily the talent of the show, but you know, shout out to J Lo. But I want to see the making of this, and I wanted to, you know, the you know, reenact some of those scenes, the behind the scenes, the struggle that it took to build that show, and then what it became. And they used to break music acts too. So shout out to In Living Color. Living Color was such a dope show. I would love to see the making of The Living Color on and off screen in a theatrical 3-hour movie, me personally. So I would love to see that. So that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Now, who will play these roles? I think they will have to do an open invitation. Everybody has to, you know, audition. But some people, I think if they're going for those roles, that they would just absolutely kill. I would like to see somebody like a Carlos Miller in this. I would like to see Lou Young as one of the characters in this. Lou Young is hilarious. Who else? I would like to see Drewski, you know, in something like this. Big Josh, shout out to Big Josh. I would like to see these new people who are funny that does skits in a sketch type of movie, like in A Living Color. So I think that would be dope. Shout out to FK in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for your support. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button. Hit them hearts. Hit them hearts. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Rowan Jack, one of our day ones in the building, man. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Big kudos to you for always showing the show so much support, man. Thank you. But again, Hollywood need to ask us. I want to see the making of the Living Color TV show. I think it will be hilarious. I think it will be funny if they do the making. A 3-hour theatrical would be like right up my alley. So I would love that. So that's the Hollywood need to ask us for this episode. Terry Crews. You know what? Terry Crews would probably, he probably could play a role in this. He probably can play a role in this. You know, I think that would be so funny if they do this movie. All right, moving on, y'all, to our must-see segment. I got 3 movies y'all must see, must put on y'all playlist. You know, how do you live in today's age without some sort of relief, without watching movies, right? So I got 3 movies from back in the day, from now to whenever. They all varies. Hey, yo, Rowan Jack, man, appreciate you gifted, man. Appreciate you gifted the memberships. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Shout out to Christine. Shout out to B in the building. My dog Leaf in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Oh man, we got some. And Andretti in the building, man. Appreciate you. Blood Frat in the building. Appreciate y'all with the gifted, man. For real. Thank y'all for supporting the show. Thank you. Wow. Y'all are amazing, man. Thank you. I can't even find the right words to tell y'all how much I appreciate y'all, for real. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so my three must-see movies. Y'all gotta see these movies if you've never seen them before. So my first movie came out in 1990, directed by Bruce Melmoth. He also did a movie called Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone. Um, this movie stars Steven Seagal, Kelly LeBrock, Bonnie Barrows, Frederick Coffin, and William Sadler. This movie is called Hard to Kill. Fire movie, fire movie. Um, I'm not a big fan of Steven Seagal as far as what I heard his antics was from back in the day, but the product of some of his movies are classics, and I just gotta keep it a buck. I gotta keep it a buck. Rowan Jack got his badge. Rowan Jack got his badge, y'all. Rowan Jack got his badge, man. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Uh, Keanu, did you know? Did Keanu 16? Uh, Keanu 16. I'm not familiar with that one. But again, y'all must see Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill, again, was about a cop who 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 rub the bad guys all the wrong way. They try to take him out, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see Hard to Kill. Next must-see movie came out in 2024, directed by Jeremy Colette Seri. They also directed a movie called Orphan, fire movie Orphan. This stars Taron Egerton, Sophia Carson, Jason Bateman, Theo Russo, Dean Norris. This movie is called Carry On. Fire movie. It's a fire movie. It's a must-see movie. It is very entertaining. This movie is about a young man that works at the airport, and he works at the airport with his girlfriend. And the girlfriend wants the boyfriend to be serious about his life. So the day that he gets serious about his life at the airport, you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. I didn't tell y'all nothing really, for real. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure y'all go to see Carry On. Third and final must-see movie came out in 2004. This is 1992. No, this is 1997. Sorry, y'all. This is 1997. This movie is directed by Anthony Wilder. This stars Julie Depley, Vince Velu, Tom Everett Scott, Julie Bowen, Phil Buckman. This movie is called American Werewolf in Paris. This movie is so lit. This movie is so lit. Obviously, it's about a werewolf, right? But it's about a guy and his two friends. They go to Paris. They go to a club, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all tap in to see American Werewolf in Paris. Must-see movie. So again, make sure y'all go see Hard to Kill, Carry On, and American Werewolf in Paris. Make sure y'all tap into those movies, man. Appreciate that. All right, y'all, moving on to our must hear. Must hear, must have these three songs on your playlist. The theme is Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is one of the most recognizable people on this planet, and y'all know he makes great music, right? So these are the three songs y'all must have on your playlist if you haven't heard these songs yet. That was decent. Netflix is coming back with good movies. It's been a while since I've seen American Wolf. American Werewolf in Paris is elite. It's a real good time. It's a real good time. It's very, very entertaining. Very entertaining. Right? Then Kano 16. I don't know what that mean. FK, I don't know what that mean. But again, appreciate your support. Hit them hearts. Again, y'all hit that like button. Yeah. So my three must-hear songs for Snoop Dogg must put on y'all playlist. Number one is called Edibles featuring T.I. Number two, Peaches and Cream featuring Charlie Wilson. And number three, Snoop's Upside Your Head featuring Charlie Wilson. So those are the three must-have songs on your playlist from Snoop Dogg. Again, Snoop's Upside Your Head featuring Charlie Wilson, Peaches and Cream featuring Charlie Wilson, and Edibles featuring T.I. So make sure y'all tap into those three songs by Snoop Dogg. All right, moving on to must see or classic TV show. We spoke about this show in the past, but that show is different now. It's a little different now. So a must see show is actually out right now. It's about 6 to 7 episodes in. It's so good. Dexter, the Original Sin. Like I said, it came out this year. It stars the OG, Michael C. Hall, Patrick Gibson, Molly Brown, Christian Slater, and Christella Milian. It's really good from what we remember Dexter as when the show was at its peak. They brought those characters back in a way where they shown the beginning, like the absolute beginning of the Dexter. And for some reason, that show just doesn't get old because Dexter chooses, he's a serial killer that only kills serial killers. Like that is just wild. Shout out to Bill in the building. Bill Boyle in the building. What is your highest donation? We've had some sizable donations here before. I would say between Rowan Jack, well, I shouldn't say the names, but Rowan Jack is in the building, King Prince is in the building. Easily between them two, I don't know if I should say the number, but it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. Definitely Rowan Jack and King Prince. They definitely go. They really support us, man. They really support us. I will say that. But we've had some sizable ones here. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. Moving on to y'all already know what time it is, y'all. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get classic shows, documentaries, and movies for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, Button Snaps. All right, y'all. First hot topic of the night. This is crazy. Bill, you seem like a chill person. I might ask my dad if I can do. Man, I appreciate that, Bill. Appreciate you, man. And man, we appreciate the support. We are positive people doing positive things. We give information. We talk about everything, but we do it in a format. So again, man, you being here, hitting that like button, is support enough. But if you want to gift the show, that's even better, man. Appreciate you. And we got memberships in the page as well. First hot topic of the night, y'all. Internet man pays a $40 bill, his $40 bill, and on top of that, gives $1,000 tip and leaves his number for the young lady to text him. What do y'all think about that in the chat? Let me know what y'all think about what I just said. Again, an internet man pays for his bill. It's $40. But he tipped the waitress $1,000 and left his number. And on the bill, it says, text me. Can't make this up. It says, text me on the bill. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? That I've never heard of a tip that crazy. And I guess for me, what makes it a bit egregious is that you're doing it for the purpose of getting this lady's attention, right? You got dudes out here really tricking, man. That's trick status to me. I mean, What's wrong with your personality where you can't just say, hey, I know you're working, but I would like to get to know you. I think you look really nice. What's wrong with that, my brother? He made sure he wasn't striking out. But the young lady did respond. The young lady did respond. Ebony, that was nice of him. I respect everyone, even if they're rude. Uh, you seem like a chill guy. Good. Was that Andrew Tate? Roy Jack, you stupid. He said, was that Andrew Tate? I don't think, do Andrew Tate, do he? Well, I'm thinking, I'm probably thinking of somebody else. I'm thinking somebody else name with the Andrew name. But, but yeah, man, like, I just think that's real. I mean, they always say it's not tricking if you got it, but. All right, so let me finish the story. So the young lady did contact him. She contacted him, said, thank you for the tip, but I am in a relationship. Bah! Like, so if the service was that amazing, leave a great tip. Ain't nothing wrong with leaving a gift, right? Cool, right? Especially if the service is feeding you in some type of way, right? Cool. But he did that with the sole intent to get her attention, to get her number. That's what makes it egregious to me. That's what makes it wild. Like, you didn't have to do all that to get her number. Now you down a stack. Regardless if you have it or not. At the end of the day, it's like, what are you doing, dog? Now, if you just wanted to give her that, then cool. It was on your spirit to do. Cool. I'm like that in a way, in the sense of, if I'm going to give, and when I give, I do it from the goodness of my heart, whether somebody needs it or not. Because gifting is not necessarily a needed based thing. It's about what moves you. Like, I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but I seen a homeless woman one day, and she was in her car, and she just asked for $10. I gave her 100. And the reason why I gave her the 100, because at that particular moment, I looked at that lady as a woman that was down on her luck. And if I was in a situation and somebody had had the heart to give to me, and all I needed was $10, and they gave me 100, I'm about to eat for the next 2 weeks just off this one right here. I got 2 weeks worth of food until I could get myself back on my feet. That's how I think of stuff like that. So if he was gifting to just like give because it moved him to give, like, damn, she's working hard, she deserves a gift, cool. But he did that with the sole intent to get her number, to get her attention, and to get a date. That's what makes it super whack. It's not the gift. In the chat, they're saying that was nice of him. Yeah, that was nice of him, but he did it with the sense of getting to know her. And then what makes it scary for women, I don't understand how women put a price on their attention. Ladies, I just want to give y'all a quick game because I know there's quite a few in here. If a man could pay for your attention, there's no way he can respect you in a way where it's validated, because the foundation of how you meet is not out of respect. He paid for your attention. He paid for your time. So based on that premise alone, that he's paying you to pay attention to him, the foundation, he can never respect you in a way where he could take you serious, because at the end of the day, he know your time and your energy comes with a price. So make sure y'all think about that the next time you want the guy to pick up the bill and do this, that, and the third, because it's nothing wrong for a man to take care of his woman financially. There's a whole bunch of men out here that actually do that. Y'all know that, right? But are you worthy of that? And if right out the gate, when a man meets you, he gives you $1,000, he don't know your name, he don't know where you from, and he's able to get your attention, that's scary business. You're putting yourself in danger. So I'm just putting that out there for those who don't understand how us as men, how we move. So again, if a man comes out and pays you just to get you to call him, that's a red flag. That's a red flag, ladies. So be aware. Yo, shout out to Felipe, man, from Brazil. Appreciate you tapping in, man. Hit that like button as well while you're here. You know, the show feeds off love, so we appreciate your support. Hit that like, hit them hearts, hit them 100 signs, man. Appreciate you. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. New York City has officially legalized jaywalking. Uh, and they only legalized it because of the racial disparities of the tickets that they was giving out for jaywalking. So, you know, well, we know who got majority of the tickets, but I didn't even know that this was a thing in New York City. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. We walk in the street when cars is coming all the time. That's just what we do. It's just like, and then the cars have to slow down for us. You know what I'm saying? Because if you hit us, we get some money on. Before, if the cars see, all right, so this is how people mindset works. They either gonna slow down or they gonna speed up. If they speed up, they gonna hit you. And their mindset is they gonna hit you hard enough when you don't remember. So I'll please be advised. You know what I'm saying? You have to grow up in New York City to understand when and when you can't do it. But that's just how we did in New York City. So in Brooklyn, like I said, we did it all the time, jaywalking. I didn't even know this was a thing. But they officially legalized jaywalking in New York City, which I think is hilarious. What y'all think in the chat? I've been in New York City I've been in New York several times, I guess several times. People jaywalk all the time. I didn't know you could get a ticket. I didn't know you could get a ticket either, Ebony. I didn't know that either. I didn't know that either. That's just what we do. You go any borough, people are going to walk in the streets. It's just we trying to get over there. We're not walking down to the street, to the end of the street where the light is at to cross to go right here. It's right there. So I didn't know that was the thing myself. So I found that pretty interesting too. Yeah. Rowan Jack, I miss Florida. I hate that pedestrians have the right of way. In Florida, you would get rocked. I would not advise you to jaywalk in Florida. People are crazy in Florida, meaning the drivers. The drivers would hit you, and then Florida is a no-fault state. It's a no-fault state. So in New York City, when it's your fault, you got to pay. You're gonna pay big time in New York City. But Florida is a no-fault state. You wouldn't dare. You know how that when that water is hot and you gotta, that's like jaywalking in Florida. It's like, yeah, I want to do it, but everybody is flying down. Even in stop and go traffic, people are flying in Florida. So I would not advise you to do that. Not in Daytona, not in Miami, not in Jacksonville. You could get away with it in Tampa. You could get away with it in Tampa. Orlando, don't do it. Don't do it. Telling you, you will get rocked by a car and people will keep it moving. Trust me. People are crazy out here in Florida when it comes to doing that. I used to ride my bike in the ditch. I never got on the road growing up. I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you. So I never knew this was even a thing in New York City until they actually showed it. We did, all the time. It's a part of the culture. So, kudos to New York City for making some of these rule changes. I don't even know anyone that's ever got a jaywalking ticket in New York City. That's really not a real thing. Like, I don't know, maybe that's a Manhattan thing. And when I mean by Manhattan, I mean like, downtown Manhattan, like 42nd Street, 34th Street, maybe in that sector alone. But 14th Street, 8th Street in Manhattan, First Avenue in Manhattan, 116th, 125, 125th. That's not happening in those parts of Manhattan. You know, it's like, so I think it's that area in particular, because I've never seen it in Brooklyn. I've never seen it in Queens. I've never seen it in Staten Island. So that's pretty interesting, to say the least. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Again, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button as well. Actor Godfrey Owens, who's most famously known for playing on The Cosby Show as Elvin, he speaks on his financial struggles after the show. He reappeared working at Trader Joe's, being like baggage. He was working in baggage. He said he really struggled. He's been struggling for a while. But when people seen that, people felt repelled to give, right? They felt it on their heart to give to help him get back on his feet. Not only that, but he also got offered plenty of acting opportunities. I've seen him in several shows since then. I've seen him in Power. I've seen him in some Tyler Perry stuff. I've seen him. What was it, Tyler Perry? No, because I haven't watched the Tyler Perry show in a while. But I've seen him in some stuff. He played like a lawyer in something. He played, that's what he'd really been playing, is like a lawyer, uncle. But I've seen him in stuff since he spoke out on it. But he's back into financial troubles, even after Nicki Minaj had gifted this man $25,000. I think she had some movies or some videos that required his services of acting, and she gifted him that on top of that. And what he did with that $25,000, he gave the whole $25,000 to charity. What do y'all think about that? I read that. I used to ride my bike. What do y'all think about that? The fact that he has financial troubles, been having financial troubles. He was back on his feet, and then you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. He got $25,000 from Nicki Minaj personally, and he turns around and gives that to charity. So he's back in financial troubles. I mean, what do y'all really think about that? I've never. If you have it to give, give. If that's what you want to do, but it's really hard to take somebody serious when they do something like that. It's like, if you're really struggling, you don't give all that you have away. You're going to keep something where you're not struggling, right? Where you could live off of, and then you give what you feel like that you want away. But then to get something and to give it, so you can't complain about struggling, in my opinion. He should have put his own ear mask on first. Exactly. Exactly. If you don't have it to give, then you can't complain about being broke, because you was gifted some money. Somebody give you some money and you just give it all away. So at this point, like, can you take somebody serious if they do something like that? I mean, can you? I mean, again, I spoke on it just recently, or a little earlier, about giving, right? It's just on you to give. It's on you to give. But if you're not in a position to give, and you give, then you can't say, yo, I'm broke because I give, and I'm still struggling. You don't have to be struggling. $25,000 is $25,000. It's not like it's chicken feed. $25,000 also, you're not rich with $25,000, but you're gonna have some comfortable nights with $25,000. This $25,000 cures sleepless nights from not eating and not being able to pay your bills. So, Dollar Bob, $25,000 is nothing, seriously. $25,000 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's not a lot of money in the grand schemes of making money, but $25,000 and you don't have no money, 25,000 gives you peace of mind, and you cannot buy peace of mind. Peace of mind is the most critical thing that any human being can have. Peace of mind gives us the peace to think, to breathe. Peace of mind allows us not to be in a space of desperation. When people are in a space of desperation is why we have crime. Most people commit crime out of space of desperation. So even though I agree with you that 25,000 is not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, when you're making money, that's not a lot of money as in terms of a salary. But when you're getting $25,000 at one time and you don't have $25,000 on top of that, then that's a lot of money, bro. You can't say that you're broke, receive money, give it all away, and then you don't have a wave of income to replace that. So I agree again, Ebony, man, a fool and his money. I'm saying that is wicked. I've never heard that. That's like somebody saying, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And it's on you to bring them some food. Instead of giving them money, you like, man, I got all this food. It's good as hell. I'm tearing it up over here. Yo, let me bring some food to my boy. Gas up the car. Go over to his house. Yo, bro, I got this big feast. I got this big dinner. It's delicious. Here, bro, you hungry, right? I'm starving. Starving. You leave. He hit you back. Hey, bro, I'm still hungry, man. For real, you ate all that food? That's a lot of food. Yeah, I never ate it. What you mean? You threw it away? Nah, man. This lady down the hall, man, she was struggling, man, and I gave her my food. I gave her all of it. So you didn't keep you a plate or nothing, a couple plates that you're gonna need later? Nah, man, I gave her all of it. If you not want to hear that the food that you brought is not enough, because it was enough. Crazy. And Nikki got him a job too. Yes, yeah, because she paid him for a job that he was doing in the acting, like something with acting for a video or a movie that she was doing, and then she gifted him the $25,000 on top of that. Whew. What I tell you. But again, y'all, I love the interaction in the chat. I love the interaction in the chat. Please continue to do so. Again, hit that like button as well. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. WNBA player Angel Reese has deactivated her Instagram after a New Year's Eve post. It was a very sexy outfit that she had on. And so I'm guessing, people was commenting and, saying what they would, say what they be saying. But it's so weird when you see her deactivate her post, because people do compliment her, whether she wants to compliment or not. But ladies, I have to tell y'all this because y'all in the chat as well. If you wear sexy outfits and then post it, what do you think the response that you're going to get on social media? Is this the first year of social media? Or are we in the years of social media? So the reason why I asked that question is that because we know how social media operates, as a woman, if you take a picture in an outfit and it's very sexy and it shows the curves of your body, dudes and women are going to say something. So basically, it's a thirst trap. So if a thirst trap is going to generate comments. I agree with you, Ron Jack. It's a tease, correct? So being that we know that, then you cannot say don't sexualize me, because I spoke on this prior. She had made mention that she doesn't like to be sexualized. We could respect that. Anybody could respect that. But it's hard to respect that when you're taking sexy pictures and posting it. When anytime we see you, you know, short shorts, crop top, no bra, and it's looking good. I'll be honest, it looks nice. What do you think men are gonna say? You didn't wear that outfit not to be noticed. You didn't put that on and walked out the door to not be noticed. Let's keep it real, y'all. Let's keep it real. This is not me talking at this woman. This is me keeping it real. When can we be real? When can we start being honest about the conversation? Why do men have to change being the nature of men? Because we're not going to do that. Me, nature. You understand? Nature. So don't put yourself in a position where guys are going to say nothing. If you don't want guys to say nothing, you can still dress nice. You can still dress sexy, but tone it down where people don't sexualize you. If you're wearing a crop top, no bra, if you wearing the short shorts and you 6'2", 6'3", and you got the nice long legs, and you know that baby oil is popping, and you got the shorts right by the butt cheeks, come on now. Come on now. Like, let's be real. You wore that to be noticed by someone. Stop me when I'm lying. For whatever anybody else says, that's what they say. But for that in itself, when she says, don't sexualize me, but when you wear that on New Year's Eve post, it was a very sexy outfit. Very sexy outfit. You could see the curves of her breasts and all that stuff. She's a nice looking woman. She's a nice looking woman. I will say that. But when you show it off, people gonna say, people gonna look, you doing it for the attention. And with that attention comes with wanted attention and unwanted attention. So I just think it's hypocritical that she says this, and then now that people are going in on the fact that, yo, they showing you more love than you probably wanted and can handle, and she deactivates her Instagram. I just think that's very hypocritical. She could have worn the Kamala pantsuit, but she wanted to look cute. But see, she could still look good being covered up though. Like, I don't want to sound like the old man in the room, but all the women that I was attracted to, well, obviously that was older than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little kid looking at the older women, right? They was all like tomboys, right? So when I was a little kid, my crush was T-Boz from TLC, right? And y'all remember TLC, where they used to come out with clothes bigger than them, the men out, basically the men version of the clothes. So they wouldn't wear girls' jeans, they would wear guys' jeans and wear 3 times the size, but it was baggy, right? And you couldn't really see anything, but it was just sexy to me. Like, damn, like, that's fly. Like, she did that for the style. You don't see, you couldn't see their breasts or their butt like that, but you knew they had it though. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the women that I grew up to was wearing baggy fits, and it looked good. Like, it was like, damn, yo, if I was her age, yo, y'all dudes would have a run for y'all money. Like get the elbow grease. Like, yo, let me in here, B. So I'm just saying, she could still be cute. Cover up. And if you cover up, guess what? People won't sexualize you. Especially if your brand is about what you do. When I look at Angel Reese, the first thing that I think of is not basketball, because her brand is not basketball. It's not. Her basketball is second to the brand that she's trying to push. To me, the brand that she's trying to push is that she's a pretty girl that's using basketball to leverage into something else, which is nothing wrong with that. But The main brand is not basketball based on how you dress. Can't go into meetings looking delicious, nutritious, and for these figureheads to take you serious with, it's like, okay, she's about her business. Especially when the coach is looking at you, you know, dressing out sexy. Again, nothing wrong with that, but you got to be prepared for the energy that you put out there. You're going to get it back. So, you know, so yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next. Honestly, she asked for that type of attention. I tell ladies all the time, again, I'm not saying this to, you know, I'm not saying this to be against y'all. I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all information to bring us closer together. Ladies, what you wear out and about matters. When a man sees you, he puts you in a place on how he's going to respect you based on what you're wearing first. We are visual creatures, so we see you first. There's no man that looks at a woman and be like, damn, I know she's smart. Damn, I know she got a good head on her shoulders. We don't do that. We like, damn, I want to know what it's like to clap her cheeks. When can we be honest? And then when a man meets a woman and based on her conversation, where she's at in her life, and what I mean by where she's at in her life, being like having a mental capacity to be able to verbalize that what she could give to a man, and not necessarily her education, but when a man have a conversation with a woman, he, in the first 10 minutes or first 5 minutes, he could say, okay, she's wifey material based on how she speaks to me. She speaks with a presence and an energy that I like, and I want to see where that goes from here. Oh, she speaks aggressive, and I don't like aggressive, so yeah, nah, pack her up. Or if you like aggressive, like, yeah, I like that aggressive talk. Yeah, I'm gonna keep her around. Because each man is different. We're not monolithic. So at the end of the day, what you wear matters. Listen to me. Trust me. It's all about your outcomes, ladies. All about your outcomes. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Okay, Florida bans children under 14 from using social media. Again, Florida bans children under 14 for using social media. They need their parents' consent to use social media. What do y'all think about that? Florida, I will say this about living in Florida. As crazy as Florida is one of the places that I've been to where kids are allowed to be kids. Especially when they hit in the teenage years. From 14 to about 19, the kids who are 14 and 19 are allowed to be, they're allowed to be 14 and 19, meaning they don't have to take life serious. They could just have fun. They could just worry about being a kid or being a teenager or being a grown teenager. There's a lot of grace for kids or children who are 14 and 19. The people of Florida, they look at kids who are 14 to 18 as babies. Now, once they hit like upper echelon 19, 20, 21, when they really out and about, they grown at that point. But if you're in high school, anywhere up to high school, Florida people really look at kids as kids, opposed to New York City. Again, I grew up in Brooklyn. Once a kid really hit the 8th grade, they get treated with a grown energy. So now when they start going to high school, they one step away from really being independent. Because once you go to high school in New York City, mind you, you're dependent on yourself to get in from school. You're dependent on yourself to get something to eat. You're dependent on yourself to do everything that you need to do outside the fact of paying bills, paying rent, I should say. But other than that, kids are asked to be basically little adults in New York City from the age of 13, 14 years old. And it's individual based, more so. But a lot of kids, by the time they're 14 going into high school, they going through something in real life, which ages them faster. The kids in high school in New York City have access to sex way faster than kids in Florida. Because kids in Florida, their parents is always home. Or somebody's at the house. In New York City, ain't nobody home. Everybody got to get up out of here and work. Now, we got to go work tomorrow. Everybody in the house got a job. So nobody's home. So if a kid is able to come home and mom, dad, sister, big brother, auntie, grandma at work, you got a girl in your building, she going to come through, and got a girl in your school come through. I'm just saying, the kids in New York City are asked to become little adults fast. So being that they put this rule through, I commend them for it. And they put things in place where I'm guessing where the ban will uphold. So again, Florida bans children under 14 from using social media bearing parents' consent. So, and if that kid is on social media and something happens, then that parent has to answer for that because the parent gave the okay. So I think moving forward, this is going to be something special to monitor with good ears and eyes. Again, y'all, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and share button. Don't forget to comment and engage. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Mortgage rates has risen again. In the last 5 months, it's higher than it's been in a long time, in about 5 years. It's up more than 35%. They're saying that it's 35% more to buy a home than it is to rent, y'all. 35%. Think about that for a second. Like, we grew up at a time where people was getting all types of in all types of programs and all types of opportunity to buy homes. Now, if you buy your home, or if you own your home and you don't own it straight out right now, your mortgage rate is crazy. So much so where it's like financially you're better off renting. And for these same rates, if a lot of people, they signed them 30-year contract with them 30-year mortgage rates. I know some people that did it in 10 years and ended up owning their house, but still had to pay the taxes on the house from year to year. I just think this is sad. Like, where is the relief? There's no equity base or performance base on the mortgage that would alleviate for something to be 35% higher. So now, what they gonna do with all these houses? You got all these empty houses everywhere because people are moving out and they not choosing to pay the mortgage no more. Like, the hell with this. Because by the time they finish paying on the house anyway, they're gonna be damn near 50, 60 years old. Still gotta pay the taxes on the house. So, I mean, like, is it gonna be worth it? Because if you buy a home nowadays, it's going to cost you anywhere from 15 to 20 grand, depending on if you're a first-time buyer, depending on if you are in a program where if you could get the home for 5% or 3% or 2%. And this is going to be included your down payment and your closing costs. Not to mention getting a land surveyor, not to mention getting an inspector. These are all the things that's going to encumber getting a house. And then right before you do it, the insurance for the house is something else entirely. So people are opting to rent opposed to owning, and look at the outcomes. I don't blame people for doing that because of the outcomes. It's all about outcomes. One thing about our society today that we're granted with so much information that we could just look it up, actually do the research, not just Google, actually do the research. And based on the research, and if you do the numbers, in 30 years, you pay way less, save way more money renting than you would do owning. It just seems like the best way to own something is if you do it at a very young age, if you can do it. So that way, the benefits, by the time you get to 40, 50 years old, it will hit different, right? So people have to learn how to buy land opposed to buying houses, because guess what? You gotta pay taxes. So if you own your house, okay, kudos to you, but you still have to pay taxes on this land. And if you don't pay the taxes, guess what? You lose the house. So I mean, at the end of the day, this is just egregious where the mortgage rates is up 35%, man. It's like, come on, like how much more money do you need? I mean, y'all obviously don't need the money because y'all just had immigrants here, and you was given, you had programs where they could have a house and they didn't have to pay no down payment, closing payment, nothing, and they just paid on the back end. You had things set up where immigrants could get housing a whole year free with no rent. They even had something with houses in itself where, while I just said it, they didn't have to pay no down payment, no closing payment. They didn't have to pay anything to get in the house. All they had to do was pay it on the back end. And they wasn't even paying, so let's say the house was $300,000. They not paying the $300,000, they paying the interest on the back end. So if they have programs for immigrants, why do you not have programs of like that enlaced where people can benefit, that's from here, that live here, that put their blood, sweat, and tears? People are 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 generations in. Where's the relief? Where's the relief? So I just think it's terrible, man. So be careful and stay about your business on these houses, man. All right, y'all. The parents still allowed. Oh, that was going on. All right, y'all. Internet woman trolls being kidnapped in Nigeria, and also said that she was being held for $1 million ransom. She said she did this prank, she did this prank to show that Africa is a safe country regardless of race. What y'all think about that, y'all? Let me know what y'all think about that. Like, this is probably, I have to be honest, it's so much wrong with this. It's so much wrong with this. One, Africa is not a country. It's a continent. Second of all, Nigeria is the country. Third of all, white people are in Africa too. There's white people that are considered Africans because they was born and raised in Africa. The continent. There's white people all through the continent of Africa, whether it's Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, so on and so forth. So, and the lady that did this is a white woman. It's nothing to fear being white, being in the continent of Africa. It just didn't make any sense. You did this for attention. You did this for the views. You did this to be recognized in some sort of way because this is idiotic. This is idiotic. I've never heard anything like this. This is so idiotic. And for her to do this for this type of attention and then put it in the atmosphere, then the guy was sitting next to her like, yeah, man, Nigeria's a cool place to come, this, that, and the third. We already know that. We didn't need her to play this prank to troll and acting like, because when you hear somebody being kidnapped and then you're like, aha, prank y'all, that doesn't scream safe. What are we doing? Like, that doesn't scream that. What are we doing? And as a culture, we gotta call this stuff out, man. We gotta shame people that do stuff like this, cause it's idiotic. Like, that's one of the that's wild on so many levels. That's wild on so many levels. She did this for the attention and she did this for the views. She didn't do this to show that Africa, the continent of Africa, is safe for white folks and any other races. That's a whole nother conversation. But she was doing it to show that it's safe for white folks. Like I said, there's white folks that are from Africa that is African because they're born and raised from Africa. A part of your ethnicity is where you're born. If you're born in America, guess what? You're American. Now your lineage can be from somewhere else, but you're from here, bro. Just wild. Wild on so many levels. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. They said be careful. Be careful sending messages from iPhones to Androids. This is something called the Salt Typhoon cyber breach, where hackers have now accessed all messages, all information from sending from iPhone to Android. So a lot of people, y'all know, within the text messages, send pics, send real critical information, banking info, social security. You're probably doing that to, regardless of what you're doing, you probably have done it before, but you have hackers now that's enlined into those text messages and pictures if you're sending from iPhone to Android. So make sure y'all be careful. Again, it's called the Salt Typhoon cyber breach. And they're using that information to send you letters. They're using that information to scam. So if people getting like letters out of the blue from this particular company, if you really look, it's not the real company. You like, why the hell am I getting a $500 letter from this company over here? I already paid them. And they saying if you don't pay this money, we're going to shut your accounts down and this, that, and the third. And people will send that money because of the scarcity. You got 10 days to respond. So be careful of sending that because they're using your information to send you these type of things to get money and to gain leverage over you. So be careful of that, y'all. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Former girlfriend or, well, what's the best way I could say this? Former LA housewife, or housewife of basketball, Royce Reed, alleges that her son was essayed by Dwight Howard, who's the ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, by his brother. So she alleges that her son that she had with Dwight Howard was essayed by Dwight Howard's brother. What y'all think about that? Like, that's wild. That is wild. I've seen this all up and down TikTok. I seen the very first post that she had put up. She was saying that, she'd been waiting a while to do this, and it seemed like something pushed her to this point. Even though being an adult, you make a decision to do things when you are confronted with something, but she felt obligated to do this. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was going on, but it's up and it's stuck. And she was telling everything. And this was one of the things that she mainly harped on, that, her son was essayed by Dwight Howard's brother. She even made mention that even Dwight Howard was essayed by her brother. Now, this is all alleged of what she said on the information that she received from her son and from the family. If this is true, then something has to be done with Dwight Howard's brother. It has to be some sort of justice where he goes to jail. He shouldn't be around children, shouldn't be around kids if this is true. But like I said on last episode or episodes before, we live in a day and age where people could say something without any proof and it becomes the truth. You have to have ironclad proof to put dirt on somebody's name like this. Gotta have it. If you have the proof, then people will support. Because without that, it could be 10 years down the line and you could come out and say, well, I was lying because I was mad at Dwight, so I tried to burn everything. I'm not even gonna lie now. But I'm telling y'all the truth. I was lying. So what's gonna happen to him between now up until the day you decided that you want to tell the real truth? So in this day and age, you have to have ironclad proof. If this man is guilty of this, then he needs to go to jail. If he's not guilty of this, he needs to clear his name and he needs to be able to move forward with his life without something like this following him. But now that it's said, now it's following him. Now that energy and that shame is going to be on him. But it has to come with some sort of proof. That's all I'm saying. It has to come with some sort of proof. At the end of the day, when you're a woman, and when women speak, people do listen, especially when it comes to being essayed or your children being essayed, because other men is going to hear that and feel a type of way. We don't dig that type of energy, so somebody's going to handle it, whether it's going to be somebody personally or the courts, right? So you're going to have ironclad proof. Not saying that you're lying, not saying that you're not telling the truth, just going to have some proof, because you could be telling the truth. Dwight Howard's brother could be out here on wild timing. But it has to come with truth before public opinion pulls in and before the courts pull in. Especially with the courts, because if you got the truth with the courts, public opinion take care of itself for the most part. But, you know, this is not a laughing matter or a jokey matter when it comes to children. I mean, even when it comes to adults, that's not something to play with. But children is something different, because children don't have the capability to really think for themselves at that age. You know what I mean? And mind you, she's talking about like at a young age. Like, you know, I believe she said like 5 or 6 when it started. That's not an age where they know what is what. You know what I mean? They don't even know what sex is for the most part. Most kids don't at that age. Some do, some don't. But I believe most kids don't at that age. So, I mean, for that to be going on and you knew this, like, what happened to make you bring it out now if you knew this? Or maybe you didn't know and you just found out about it recently and like, yo, I'm telling it. So I kind of, again, you have to have that proof. You gotta have that proof for people to go left and to get the outcome and the results that you want. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. The art podcast featured Damon Dash. Damon Dash says that Beanie Siegel could have been much bigger if he would have stayed with him, opposed to going with Jay-Z when, you know, Rockefeller basically broke up. And I just thought it was interesting because me personally, I don't see it that way, right? And I don't know, I would say this. Beanie Siegel didn't end up being as big as he was. I don't think it was because of Jay-Z. Like, I remember at that time when State Property was at its height. Like, I remember that because I was a fan. I was young kid coming up, and I was just a fan of the movement, fan of the music. And what did Beanie Siegel in was he had to go to jail. Like he had to do like I remember it was a court case, and this was when Little Kim was going to jail, and then Beanie Siegel went to jail, not too far behind her, and he had to do like a bid. And as a kid, I remember saying like, "Damn, it's over." So I think the fact that he went to jail at the time he went to jail is what kind of did Beanie Siegel. And me personally, as a fan of the music, speaking out, saying like, that's what my interest, when he went to jail, it was like, all right, well, he going to jail. He ain't going to have no music. He ain't going, but, free Beanie Siegel. Hope his family stand by him. So I don't believe that he would have been bigger or smaller with the who. I mean, Jay-Z had the power, the energy to make Beanie Siegel bigger. But Damon Dash has a point in the sense where he was the birth child of all or majority of their ventures. Rockaware, State Property Wear. He even helped Kanye with his line. Even got I remember Cam had like some sort of cologne as well. I think it was Purple Haze or Old Boy cologne, something like that. So it's nothing wrong with what he's saying. Then he had movies too. I don't know if y'all remember Damon Dash movies. Those movies was hilarious. The State Property, the first one was Hard Body. That was like a hood classic. The second one leaned more into the hood comedy, and it was funny. It was so funny. It's still a classic. Still to this day, Paper Soldiers is funny. So he did get into the movie lane. So I'm not gonna burn what Dame Dash is saying, because I think Dame Dash is too easy of a target for me to say something negative about him and people would be cool with it. I got too much respect for somebody like Dame Dash to say something negative, because without him we wouldn't be in the space of hip hop that we are in today, the space that how artists can make the money that we can make today. So the ideas and the possibilities, it went from being a possibility into being a full-fledged reality on how artists is able to leverage their music, their fame, and then turn it into real businesses such as clothing lines and so on and so forth. Movies, movie productions. He even has his own version of YouTube right now. So I think because Jay-Z is who he is, and Jay-Z is one of my favorite artists of all time. But because of who Jay-Z is, who he is, and how people perceive Damon Dash reputation took a hit. So by him saying this, I don't burn the idea of him not being bigger with Beanie Siegel, because he had the brainchild. He know how to make a dollar. He know how to, again, leverage the music, the art into monetary gain outside of the music. So I don't burn what he's saying. It's just, I think it had more so to do with Beanie Siegel going to jail, opposed to him signing to Jay or not signing with him as far as the breakup. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. College football Ash Picks is in. College football Ash Picks is in. I normally pick 5 games, but there's only 2 games left of the college football. Well, it's 3 games left, but there's only 2 games coming up. So these 2 games, here's are my picks. So you have Notre Dame versus Penn State. I think this is going to be a really good game, man. A really good game. Penn State has looked really good last game. But I'm going with Notre Dame. Notre Dame just looks faster, looks stronger. And I like the way their quarterback is playing opposed to the Penn State quarterback. Notre Dame's quarterback elevates their play. So I'm going with Notre Dame, y'all. I'm going with Notre Dame for the win. Next game is Texas versus Ohio State. I mean, y'all know how I feel about Ohio. I'm a Michigan man, so y'all know how I feel about Ohio. Texas look suspect, though. They look like they can be beat. even though they have the athletes to beat Ohio. They have the athletes to beat Ohio. They do. Um, Based on what we seen last game, Arizona State gave them all that they can handle. Ohio State ran over, ran over Oregon. But I have to be honest, looking at the athletes, looking how the offensive line, defensive line, and the quarterback played, I want to say Texas. I want to say Texas, man. I want to go with Texas. But it's something to be said about momentum. So I think Ohio will beat Texas and play Notre Dame for the national title. So those are my college football ash picks for this week. Use my picks, win some money. Thank me later. All right, y'all, moving on to our last segment of the night, Keep the Lie Alive. This segment is brought to you. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the Keep the Lie Alive segment. So my Keep the Lie Alive for this segment is learn how to be comfortable in your truth, y'all. Learn how to be comfortable in your truth. If you've seen the thread or paid attention to the thread in the show, all show long, it's about being comfortable in your truth, whether it's good or whether it's bad. I know as a person, just as a human being, when we go through things, we don't want our business out there. Nobody does. Cool. And if we don't put our business out there, then mind your business. But if we put our business out there, then it's liable to come back and bite us or come back to be addressed with us. Cool, right? But learning how to be comfortable in your truth has everything to do with being a common denominator of what your life is or what your life is. And the common denominator is always you and the outcomes that you get based on how you move. So learn how to be comfortable in your truth, whether it's good or bad, because guess what? When you're able to own up to something, people can't really use it against you for real. It's like I owned up to that. So you bringing it up, it doesn't give no value or validation on what you're trying to say about me because I already owned up to it. Now, if you're speaking on something that's not factual, then that's completely different. But if you're speaking on something that's factual and I already owned up to it, then you cannot use it against me. Learn how to live in your truth and be able to use your truth to elevate yourself. Mentally, physically, financially, when you know where you're at in life, it's much easier to assess and be able to make the proper decisions to elevate. Anytime I really mess up for real is when I'm trying to do too much at one time. When I sit down and focus and give my proper energy to things that need my attention, I'll always win because I'm using my space to get understanding. But when I'm doing so much stuff, I'm wrapped up into what I'm doing that I don't see the bottom line. I don't see necessarily the end goal. I just focus on the next step. So learn how to be comfortable in your truth, whether it's good or bad. Because guess what? We humans at the end of the day. We all do good. We all do bad. We all have something that we're overly great at, and we all have things that we're not. And some of the things that we're not great at has to do with communication with other people. So at the end of the day, learn how to be comfortable in your truth, no matter what it is. So that way you can live with yourself, you can see yourself in the mirror, and that way nobody could use it against y'all. Y'all, that's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. I want to thank y'all for tapping in, man. Y'all been such a blessing for supporting me and the show. I want to thank y'all, man. We on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 for the Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. So again, thank y'all for supporting me and supporting this channel, for real. I want to thank some of the sponsors of the show, Bravo Section, Button Snaps, and OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Again, on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Also, Tap into the Overstand podcast every Monday at 9:30. Why understand when you go overstand every Monday at 9:30 on this channel. Also, again, hit that like, subscribe, share, and all notification bell because I pop up during the week. I might talk about something random. So make sure y'all tap in and hit that notification bell and that subscribe button. Don't forget to share clips. Share a friend with another friend. Y'all been doing it. Continue to share the clips and get that energy out because we here to show love. We here to share that food and being comfortable in your truth. Also working on a new EP, working on a new full-length album. So be on the lookout for the news on that new album. But in between time, go to any music platform, type in Ashley Lovechild. I got albums, fire albums. Check it out. Check it out. My favorite right now is what's my favorite album right now that I did? I would say right now, Ready to Live. Ready to Live embodies life culture. We got so much music that's about death culture. My music is about life culture. So make sure y'all tap in. It's fire. So again, special thanks for that same album, the Ready to Live album. It just went over 100 plays or 100 plays on Spotify alone. For the Juicy single, it went over 100,000 plays for the Juicy song on the Ready to Live album. The next song that's like 800, I believe is 800 from 100,000 plays. It's called Trophy Room on that same album. So make sure y'all tap into Ready to Live on any music platform. Man, I want to thank y'all again. Y'all been amazing as always. At this part of the time of the show, I can't find no words to thank y'all for supporting. I really can't. But again, continue to spread the word. Again, we're on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 for this podcast on this channel. Don't forget to tap in. Y'all already know. It's love. And I'll see y'all next time. Thursday, 10:30. We out.